Hey guys, the Killer Emu here. It's been a really hectic week for me, so this review is going to be really short, kind of sloppy. So anyway, I'm reviewing L.I.E, starring Paul Dano and Brian Cox. I guess lately I've just had a thing about watching really uncomfortable movies, because this one is pretty much about a friendship between a 15-year-old boy and a 55-year-old pedophile. So yeah, very controversial. I guess that's gonna be my style or something. So yeah, that's pretty much what it's about. The main character, Howie Blitzer, who's played by Paul Dano, he's pretty lonely in the movie, and first he seeks friendship in this kind of troublemaker kid named Gary, who breaks into houses, and Howie's got a crush on Gary. It's pretty obvious, but yeah, they don't really explicitly say in the movie that he's gay. He doesn't come out or anything, but it's there. So he's friends with this kid Gary, and they break into houses together. One night, they break into this guy Big John's house while Big John is having a birthday party upstairs. And Big John is played by Brian Cox, and the Big John is this 55-year-old pedophile, and also happens to be Gary's pimp. So Howie and Gary they steal 2 guns from him, and Big John finds out and tracks down Gary, and Gary decides to tell Big John that Howie was the one that stole the guns. Go track him down, blah blah blah. So Big John does find Howie. But of course, Howie's kind of a good kid. He doesn't have the guns. It's all Gary, and so he tells Big John that he's gonna get his guns back for him. So Howie gets Gary's guns, except he only finds the one gun. So that's all he can bring back to Big John. He brings it back to Big John, and Big John, of course, isn't happy and says, now you owe me $1,000 instead of $2,000 for these guns. And Howie's just a kid, he's not even old enough to have a job, so he's like, how am I going to make this money? Howie offers to work off the debt, which is not a good idea to a pedophile, say that to a pedophile pimp, and Big John heavily and creepily suggests that Howie sell his body, which Howie doesn't do, actually, so that's a good thing. But from that, Howie and Big John get into this friendship, and it's really weird. And the movie almost paints Big John as a decent guy, and it's just really kind of strange to watch, knowing what Big John is actually all about. But this movie is really good. Definitely go see it if you aren't creeped out by the whole idea of it. There's no there's no sex scenes or anything in it, so it's not. Everything's heavily suggested, but you don't see anything, and no one explicitly says anything about sex. But it's weird but good, and go out and see it, and especially if you like Brian Cox and Paul Dano. I personally love Paul Dano. He's great in everything. So yeah, that's it. Sorry for the sloppy review. See you next time.